Any discussion on the motion? Any debate? Being none, all those in favor? All opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority. Next we'll move into general good and welfare. Any non-members may address the general student senate for not more than 5 minutes. Going once? Going twice? Yeah. Seeing nothing from new senators, officer appointments and resignations, we'll move into club maintenance, starting with the club, here for final recognition. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Noah, and I'm Brody, and I'm the president of the Run Club, and we're seeking final recognition. We've gone through our 7-week preliminary stage. Go for it. Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about how like the past 7 weeks have gone? What you hope to achieve with final recognition?
Yeah. Like they've been going really well. Like we've had consistently like 6-7 people like pulling up to meets, like for practices in general. Like from a pool of like 15 to 20 people. It's just that like all 15 to 20 can't pull up like to the same meet because of like schedules and all that. But yeah, it's been going really good. We've had 3 practices a week usually, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And we've also had a partnership with the app Run, which is part of Strava, which is like it's like some training app for like some like events like a 10K or 5K, and like they reached out and wanted to partner with us, so we accepted, and yeah, we're partnering with them now. Yeah, great.
I mean, we meet up 3 times a week. We run together. One of the big things that we would like to do once partnered up is find another place to meet up, because currently we're meeting behind the rec center outside, which is fine in weather like this, but there have been days in the winter where it has been snowing, raining, icy, and we've been leaving our bags and stuff outside, and just permission to move inside would be greatly appreciated.
Are there any questions for the speakers? Senator Bowman.
Where's the partnership in that? I mean, it's not much. It's just like one paper of anything, but like they give us like a 1 month free trial for the app, and they like said that like they're going to like act as like a middleman, like between us and like other collegiate run clubs. Like for example, Penn State has a run club, and they're like I guess looking to like partner with them, and they try and do event based on that.
Any other questions from the speakers? Seeing none, what's the committee's recommendation?
400 ought to pass.
Senator Bowman.
I move to accept the committee's recommendations.
Second. Hearing a second, that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. Any discussion on the motion? Any debate on it? Seeing none, all those in favor? All opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority, that passes. Thank you. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting or head out, totally up to you. Seeing nothing for club presentations, we'll move on to our guest speaker for the evening, which is Amanda Lebec, here for the Maine Day meals.
Well, you said that. So, hi everyone. I don't have a presentation because I'm not that fancy and was not that prepared. You don't know me, but I'm Amanda Lebec. I'm the student coordinator for the Maine Day Meal Pack Out, which is a role that usually goes to seniors or at least the outgoing SAB president when they're going out in their spring semester. This is the role that they take up so that they can still be involved in everything. The Maine Day Meal Pack Out has been done, I believe, for like 12 something years. I don't actually know, but it is one of the largest food distributors in the entire state of Maine. We do a competition with a bunch of other high schools and colleges all throughout New England called March Meals Madness, and we go up against people like Harvard and Northeastern and all of these big money schools that they would be called. And this year we beat them, which means that we were able to raise more money than Harvard or Northeastern combined, which is pretty impressive. this is not a singular effort. I'm standing here apparently seeming like I'm taking all of the credit, but there is a group of almost 10 people that works on this. Dr. Melissa Ladenheim for the Honors College is the associate dean. Some of our own senators, Jeremy Collimore, as well as our Honors College representative, Palace Kapaya, and then there's several others who are also involved very heavily on campus who help to work on this. We actually, our fundraising chair is in Ireland right now, and have been doing a lot of work from there. But what I'm here to basically talk about is what's the importance of all of this and why you should volunteer. And I'm hoping a lot of you are, because I would love to see you guys there. I have to be there at 6:30, so be happy you don't have to be there at 6:30. And that's next Wednesday, it's April 30th, which is Maine Day. I know, but this is a historical event. This is the most we have raised, I think, in the past 2 or 3 years. My first year, we got 80,000 meals, and this year we have raised $21,000. We're sending it to 22 to 23 different food pantries across the state, going as far north as we're in Aroostook County, Washington County, Somerset, Penobscot, Waldo County. We hit at least half of the 14 counties in the state of Maine. The four of which are heavily food insecure. They actually have a lower moderate rate for food insecurity in the state, which is not good because that means that 30, almost 50% of their population requires food assistance. That's not what we want to see. And Maine is the 12th highest in the country for food insecurity and the highest in New England. This is a small effort that goes a long way. And yes, it only takes a day to pack all of these meals, but that is over 55,000 meals that are getting sent all across the state to help so many different people. This is not just about the Maine community, but about the wider Maine. And I am mostly here just to say, if you haven't volunteered, you still have time to volunteer. And this is my last official recruitment effort. Because I'm tired of asking people, number one, I'm busy. But number two, I would love to see everybody's faces. The energy there is great. And if you're a freshman, I think you should come and experience it. And if you've never experienced it, you should definitely come and experience it because it will change your whole view. And also, it's like one of the staples of like Maine Day week. So like, please come. I guess I'll open up the floor for questions. Like I said, I'm very impromptu with this. I just wanted to talk about it with y'all and finally get the word out again. But if anybody has any questions.
Any questions for the speakers, Senator Misha?
I was one sign up to volunteer, and what does volunteering entail?
So volunteering entails a lot of different things. There's helping to check in. There's helping to bring all of the boxes to the front where they get loaded up. I'll load up everything. Each box has around 216 individual packages of meals, so they can be pretty heavy. And that is a multi-person effort. And then also actually packing up those boxes. It takes a lot of people to put 216 meals into one box and you have to seal them and put everything in. So that's what all of the volunteers are for. And also for cleaning up and setting up. We have certain groups who will be here to help set up everything. But also we're gonna need help taking stuff down. I will send it back out in the Senate chat, the Google form for it, or you can just get in contact with me and I'll forward you to our volunteer coordinator. Great. So.
Any other questions for our speaker, Representative Pemberton?
Where will the actual setup be located?
That's in the field house and the memorial gym. So the big, the track, that's not. It's the basketball court. That hurts.
Any other questions? Seeing none, please volunteer and reach out to Vice President Levesque with any questions.
Please.
That concludes our guest speaker slot for the evening, so we'll move into executive reports, starting with the president of UMSG.
All right. Hi, everyone. I was going to report how much I use for Pizza with the Provost, but they have not billed us yet, so when they do, I'll let you know. For old business, we are hiring a clerk again. To recap, the original clerk candidate denied the position. So the committee reconvened and we're gonna do that whole process again, but we'll just do that when we get there. And that'll happen first in exec session, before executive act. New business, syllabus bank update, myself and Senator Moore attended the Academic Affairs Committee meeting of the Faculty Senate. It went all right. The committee raised some concerns, but for the most part, I think they can be kind of covered up. Met and we can kind of move forward. But AP Paquette has requested a proposal for the Faculty Senate sooner rather than later. Which is a lot, because I have a lot going on. So I'm going to be reaching out to Senator DeLorme and Senator Thompson, I was gonna say VPSO elect or whatever. So Senator Thompson to help me put that together. And that I was gonna just do that myself, but I had a realization earlier this meeting, before this meeting, about the spring survey. And that next week is the last regular week of the school year, which means next week is the week that the survey needs to go out, which means I have a lot to do between now and Sunday. So that'll be my main priority. I will be trying to go back through the questions. The good thing about the survey is that a lot of it is something, when it was originally designed, is supposed to be a continuous, a lot of the questions, in order to kind of compare data backwards. But I'll be putting together a list of other questions. The student entertainment division has already done so. And I'm also open to submissions from the Senate if you'd like. I'm gonna be putting together kind of a master list of questions and sharing with you as soon as I can. So I can get that all into Qualtrics and then upload that probably midday Monday. We'll also do a giveaway with that. I haven't entirely decided what that looks like yet, but it will probably be 3 gift cards again. That seems to work out. And that'll be easy to put together. So that'll be something I'm working on. And if anybody wants a part of that, please let me know. And then this last bit is a little less fun, but we're gonna do it anyway. I would like to talk about respect in UMSG. We do some very important work and often difficult work, and it has a lot to do, or that work is very high pressure, it's high emotion, and it can get very draining at times. On top of that, frustration is inherent when we're a group of people trying to make decisions and the best decisions. But I would like to remind everybody that we're all here for the same reason, or I would hope that we are all here for the same reason. And that is what motivates us is to be here each week. Not all of us are paid, but even the ones that are here, you're here sometimes well longer than we expect you to be, but I do appreciate that. But we need to have a little bit more grace with each other. We're all adults, so I'm gonna speak very frankly. Venting happens, all right, frustrations happen, but we need to know when to talk about that. And I'll be honest, if to talk about it in the hallway or during a meeting like this just is not where to talk about it. And you don't sound bold, you just come across as unkind and mean. And there's just no reason to make this job that is already very high demand in general, personal too. I've seen what happens when people take this home and I've seen it destroy them, and there's really no reason to do it because this is a really good thing that we do each week and it's a really exciting thing and that's how it should remain. So I would just ask that if you're going to complain, I get it, complain, just don't do it in front of others or it's just not worth it. But on top of that, I would like everyone to also kind of reassess and like I said, give each other some grace. And if there's genuine issues that you have with people in this room, I get that happens, but we have mechanisms for that. And that would be to come to myself or VP Peterson or Sean if one of us are the issue. But airing it out in front of each other just kind of harbors bad feelings, and I don't want to see the Senate flip into something I've seen it be before. I'm really proud of us. I think that we have a really good Senate. I mean, that's just true. We have the biggest Senate, the most engaged Senate. Our debates, our discussions are constructive. They're the most constructive I've seen since I've been here, what now feels like a million years ago, and we're doing really well. So let's keep building on that momentum and not kind of slip into making this something it shouldn't be. So with that, I end my report.
Very good, thank you. As for my report, what have I done? I know that in 2 evenings is the UMSG inauguration, which is what we're highly encouraged to attend. If you can't totally make it, I completely understand, but I hope you do have a really good reason. Yeah, we're celebrating not just the new president and vice president, but we're celebrating the year ahead for student government and the Black Creek community as a whole. So I think it'll be a great time. Our FEPC commission, our FEP commission has done a really good job putting it together, and I'm super excited. Yeah, that'll end my report. What? Yeah. Okay, next is the VP report. Starting projected unallocated is $38,526.10. Coming later tonight are 3 office budgets for the Society of Women Engineers, Animal Club, and the American Marketing Association. And then EDC allocations for the consent agenda would be Operation Hearts in the class of 2025. And then full resolutions coming later are bus tickets for UMSG Inc., which will come to 4,100 and
I believe we have somebody else in the room who's supposed to give the report, which is not your fault, that it wasn't communicated with you, but it is the VPFA elect. And I feel like we should give them a run for it. So let's start over, shall we?
I'll start with, non-traditional appropriate, it says, hey y'all, I'm still processing, I'm still in the process of changing some of our financial forms, parts of which will be moved to campus groups, and the remaining parts will be made in available PDFs and edited to include an administrative section. All updated forms will be updated for the website, by the next Senate meeting. He says, hopefully see y'all shortly.
And should I just repeat go for it?
Okay, and then for the more traditional report, our starting projected unallocated is $38,526.10. We have office budgets for the Society of Women Engineers, Animal Club, and American Marketing Association for $60, $200, $200 respectively. For the consent agenda, we have Operation Hearts coming in with a request for $600, and the class of 2025 council coming in with a request for $975. And we have for resolutions, a bus ticket resolution from us UMSG for $4,150, and then from Tappy for $5,000. And the report.
Student organization.
Sorry, you're hearing a lot from me today, but had a great presentation at our Rotary Club, and this week in SOC, there will be accessibility on campus for AOC attending for final recognition, which will be our last of our next two, hopefully incoming, representative community association board, and then start getting on with that process. I'm also going through making sure any groups that need a final or preliminary recognition will get done tomorrow. We'll actually see, if not, that will go onto the PPSO elect docket. Speaking of that, the training is starting in this week and next week. I have been swamped with my thesis for honors, so I have not had the time. I've also been preoccupied organizing our notion for the student organizations, which I'm hoping to complete, among other things such as making the recognition applications more clear and efficient. Whether that's not going to finish with me. This may have been, but I wasn't here last week. We all weren't here last week, so I don't know. CDMA Blah, Sean, Pauline Fraser, Lori, Pam, and myself all met to talk about flood liability and some of the newer constraints coming up and some of the issues that we've all been seeing. And so Oliver, Sean, and myself sat CDMA Blah, and Sean all sat down and went over the officially recognized club's liabilities, and that will be something that anybody in campus groups and for administrative purposes will be able to see, so that we can be properly funding clubs and making sure that nobody is doing anything too dangerous that we cannot fund. Because there have been issues with that historically, and so we're trying to make sure that is clear for the future, so those issues don't keep happening. I believe that is all. If I have anything else, I'll add in special orders and announcements at the report.
Student entertainment.
Hello everyone. The show was like 2 weeks ago, but we weren't here, so but I think it went very well. I've only heard positive feedback from the people who went. Everyone that was there seemed to have a great time. I was there and I thought it was very cool. Everyone seemed to like both acts, which was great. Huge shout out to everyone that helped, including ABPSE Hall, DOC Downer, Senator Fang, and everyone else. Really. I think that, so once we moved to physical tickets, it was harder to keep track of how many tickets we gave out, but I think we gave out almost the entire 800, which is really good. And the CCA was very pleased with how it went too. But if you have any feedback for me specifically, about any aspect of the show, please get in contact with me. If not, please fill out the survey and tell all of your friends to fill out the spring survey, because that is very crucial and helpful for student entertainment moving forward. Additionally, 2 weeks ago, we ran out of tickets at Black Bear Cinema. I heard that there was a huge line out the door for a Minecraft movie, which makes sense. Next, I'm gonna set up a meeting with them hopefully next week to discuss our future for next year as promised. One of these talking points is hopefully going to be a contract. So I think that would be very helpful, where we just lay out that they are, to the best of their ability, going to try to ensure that undergrad students are the ones receiving tickets. Just because it's safer on our end that they are aware of the rules that we have in place here. And again, there's going to be questions about movie tickets in the spring survey as well. And if you have anything else that maybe you'd like to see on the spring survey, come see me in my office hours. And a report.
Thank you. Student leadership.
Hi, everybody. I hope your semester is going well. I know it can be a little crazy towards the end of the semester. I am working on finalizing details for the Senate retreat. This is a reminder to anyone who hasn't put it in their calendar yet, which you should. The workshop session is this Friday from 5 to 6:30 in the Bangor room. This will feature a little presentation and TED Talk on conflict management, and then some group activities. That should be pretty fun. They're student government related. I think it'll be fun. I encourage as many of you that can go to be there and show up. This is again to develop a good working relationship with everyone on Senate, which I feel we have now, but it's always good to make sure that continues. I would also like to see people at both the workshop and the fun activity. There is an official decision on what the fun activity will be. It's going to be like a beach picnic day at the lake. That was the most popular option. And to make sure I can get the right number of parking passes for the lake, it's going to be at Pushaw Lake. It's a 12-minute drive from campus, so a pretty short drive. I'm going to send out a survey that is going to ask if you can and can't go. It's going to be on Sunday, May 4th, and we're going to plan to get there around noon or a little afternoon. And then it'll ask whether you need to carpool with someone or if you have space for someone to go with you, just so we can figure out. And so I can organize everyone getting there. Outside of the retreat thing, I'm working on finishing up alumni newsletters for the foundation, as well as working on training the new VPSL this and next week. Likewise, I have been helping finalize the last pieces of the inauguration, which is this Thursday, which you should all go to. It's at 6 p.m. in the Buchanan Alumni Hall, if people aren't aware. And then I'm finalizing yearbook payments, and we'll have details next week about that when I have an updated invoice from the company. And the report.
Thank you. Advisor to student government.
First, I live on Pushaw Lake, so you should text me when you're over there and I'll roll up in my boat. Oh. Go for a little ride. But more concerning, so I call this time of the year the time of joys and concerns. So just as a follow-up on what President Tripp was talking about, first of all, the joys, because it's almost graduation, we're almost done with the semester. Awards were won last week. Thanks for everyone who came to that. That was very cool. All sorts of award winners in this room. Very cool. Inauguration is this week. There's lots and lots of joys. Concerns, if you're a senior, you're freaking out about being a grown-up. That's terrible. And trust me, I am one. That's terrible. It's really stressful right now. There's a lot of things going on in terms of pressure, and the semester, changing terms, changing jobs, all those kinds of things. So just to follow up, like I said, with what President Tripp said. So HR for the Corporation of Student Government is those two folks right up there. And they've got a lot on their plate too. So if you have stuff that you need from them, I absolutely, you should go and talk to them about it. But if there are things that you're dealing with student government that you might be able to work out yourself, that's always a good thing too, because this student body this year, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've never seen a group that has kicked so much butt in terms of getting things done. Really efficient, and you all are doing really, really well, but it's also really stressful. A lot of you are volunteers and not getting paid for this, and that's okay. That's wonderful. We respect that and are glad that you're here, but just remember that it's a high pressure time and that we all care about each other and that we should all act that way.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we'll move into periodic reports, starting with faculty senate rep.
All right, the last faculty senate meeting of like this school year was held 2 weeks ago. They passed a couple motions. Two of the big ones were for the academic affairs committee, and those were pertaining to the tour and the general education reform. And those were big ones, like sitting on the committee. They were super proud of that. And so that'll be something that will definitely be affecting new incoming students and what their academics look like. And then there was also one about centers on campus and just kind of making the process more efficient and so they can respond to the needs on campus. And then one about research and academics and making the research experience better for faculty and students. And then a couple things from the administration. President Fernie Mundy announced Kelly Sparks will be moving on to an external position beginning July 1st, and she is the BPFA for the faculty senate. So, well wishes to her. And then, yeah, there were a couple questions about faculty and students who would be traveling internationally for research and whatnot. Basically, the answer that President Fernie Mundy had was reach out to the Office of International Programs for further guidance if there's any questions about that. So, yeah.
BOT representative, is there any report?
No report.
Okay. At EPC,
As you have heard, inauguration is on Thursday. It's in Buchanan. If you don't know where that is, it'll show up on Google Maps. It's like across from some of the frat houses. I don't know which ones, but it's like on that side of campus. That's at 6. There are more invitations over there on the table if you want to give them out to any of your friends, or if you want a digital copy, you can also email me and I can send you one. So that's what I've been spending my time doing. Next week, I'm going to start really overhauling the policy so that as soon as we get back next year, I can knock that all out of the way. And I also have a few clubs on my docket that I have been told that I should be meeting with to see how their progress is doing with their elections, and see if they need any guidance. And report.
thank you. Student legal representative,
No report.
graduate student senate rep.
The graduate student government discussed some grant policy restructuring for the next year, and their elections and nominations for senators for the next semester are also well underway, and of course.
Orno Town Council liaison.
Okay, it's gonna be a short report. Last Monday, public comment for the council started with former University Senator Meredith Waters asking the Orono Town Council to abstain from any future partnerships with ICE. At this point, Orono is not planning to enter an agreement. However, other Maine towns have entered into an agreement with ICE. After public comment, the council approved its 2026 capital investment plans. End of report.
Old Town City Council liaison.
No report.
Military and Veteran Affairs.
No report.
Director of Communications.
No report.
Director of Technology.
Alrighty, howdy y'all. So, I'll just give quick bullet points here. So resolved an email issue that we had. It was a blocker for both DOC Downer and I, but shout out to Advisor Sadelko. Thank you. She helped us with getting that all fixed, so greatly appreciate that. I've been working with VPFA Bois on updating financial forms. And lastly, to the incoming executives that are in the room, I'll be sending y'all an email to set up your Notion onboarding session. I meant to do that yesterday, and needless to say, I'm cramming for a stats exam. So I've been like constant dying, crying inside. But other than that, so yeah, my time's a bit limited this week until that's over. But I'll send you a little thing that'll let you just like book a time slot for whatever works best, and if none of those work, you can email me and we'll work around it. So yeah, and speaking of training, starting tomorrow, I'll be beginning our training for our next DOT. So yeah, that's it. And a report.
Security representative
No report.
and Cougar.
Symposium went well, 2 weeks ago, and I'm meeting with Cougar and the committee on Monday to debrief and a report.
Okay, are there any questions for the speakers? I have a question for Commissioner Stankovitz. Is there a program for inauguration or?
I have an agenda made. We are also tinkering around with a program to have like printed, you show up. But I can send the agenda if needed, but it's kind of just a list of names that are gonna be speaking.
Am I one of those names? Excellent. Any other?
People who are on that list know that they're speaking. Okay, just making sure.
Any other questions from the speakers? Senator Sparks?
Also looking for FEPC, do you need a invitation to get in? Can you
No.
just call some-
No, it'll just be an open door.
Any other questions from the speakers? Seeing none, we'll move into reports of standing committees, starting with policy and procedure.
Executive evaluations tonight, and a report.
Membership, does anybody have that report? Seeing none, academic affairs, or services,
No report.
political activism, does anybody have that report? Seeing none, are there any questions for the speaker? I do have a question for the speaker. How are executive evals being distributed this evening?
Through email.
Great. Any other questions? Seeing none, I move into reports of special committees, starting with student mental health.
Hi, everybody. Take Back the Night was like 2 weeks ago, but we haven't had a meeting. It went really, really well. I'm awful at estimating how many people show up to things, but I heard from others it was about 40. Thank you all for coming or just spreading the word. Toyota and all Maine women were able to raise $675 for response services before the event. So many students and community members came up to me after the event to let me know how impactful the space was, and I'm really glad we were able to make it happen. This Wednesday, we're going to be tabling in the Union from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with the Counseling Center to make fidget toys in preparation for finals week. And then this Saturday, we'll be at the Block Party for Prevention hosted by Title IX, which is going to take place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Union atrium. It's been moved inside because there's going to be rain most of that day. Finally, I hope you all are doing well at making sure to take time for yourself as we head into the end of the semester, because this is a really, really stressful time. End of report.
Thank you. Food and dining affairs.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a good past couple of weeks. Getting straight to the point. Stexo started to implement better allergen labeling across the dining halls. This is most noticeable with the dessert sections at Hilltop in York, clearly labeling if there's a major allergen and as previously. All home rotating desserts that previously had the marking of eat at your own risk. Labels now have proper allergen labeling with a few exceptions that will still be rotated in. Staff are also being trained to make sure all labels are fully accurate during service. This is one of my major goals for this semester, so I'm very happy that it's being worked on diligently. I'm currently working on setting up an end of semester meeting with Matt McGall to go over potential community involvement projects such as events or collaborations with Blackberry Exchange. Credit to Senator Fallon for that suggestion, by the way, and I report.
Thank you. Undergraduate student symposium.
Previously, symposium went well, from everything I've heard. UMSG had a table there, huge thanks to all the people all the senators on the symposium committee for either helping out with the UMSG table, the event itself, or having their own research that they had. So huge thanks to them. I got a list of feedback from the event from people who went, and I will summarize it and go to the meeting that's on Monday for Cougar and give it to them so they can make the event better for next year.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the speakers? Vice President Neiman?
This one's directed at Senator St. Lawrence. What is up with Wells Pub Food, if you can speak on that?
I am still trying to figure that out. I'm trying to meet with Gordon, see what the issue has been.
President, do you have
I
any?
know the answer to that. I talked to Gordon, this weekend, staffing shortages. Sodexo only hires people for the school year. And it seems that as we, enter the summer, people are finding employment elsewhere.
Any other questions to the speakers? I do have a question for all of these special committee chairs. Are each of you aware that your special committees are like in resolutions on like a yearly basis that need to be reviewed at the end of every, not semester, but every school year? This is more of a reminder for myself and the board, that's what I'm saying. Senator Fenton.
I'm working on reaching out to the chairs to figure that out next week.
And if you do need to find like the past resolutions for the specific situations, you'll reach out to them here. Any of these? Seeing none, we'll move into representative board reports for the CAMs. No report. Honors College. Interfraternity Council.
Looking forward to mandating the service. There should be it's expected that every organization has some sort of service that week, so good stuff to come. Greek week was great. Then there's a Delt trivia night tomorrow, 5 to 7 in the North Pod of the Union. So what the event and report.
Have you panel on the council?
Biggest, I don't have issues.
Student Athletic Advisory Council, does anybody have that report? Seeing none, Senior Class Council, does anyone have that? Great, are there any questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we'll move into Community Association reports, starting with Shaq.
Hello, everyone. So my report this week is going to be relatively brief. So there's some organizational updates. Most Shack affiliate organizations are currently in the middle of their election process, or have already, decided on who is going to transition into the exec positions for the following year. Additionally, the Shack election period will conclude May 1st. So forms were sent out, social media posts was made. There are already 3 responses on the little form, so that's exciting. And May 1st is when we'll officially kind of vote the whole election process and vote in new Shack executives. Some logistical stuff. Shack stickers are set to arrive on Friday. And I'll disperse them around the union. So if you want your very own Shack sticker, you can email me, message me, or just look around the union wherever I decide to place them. And unfortunately, the end of the semester Shack event is most likely not gonna happen. I'm gonna say it right now. So all that ham grant money kind of just goes to waste, which is saddening. It's not feasible right now. And the report.
Thank you. Wild time.
Rainbow Cord signups are still available until April 30th. Though depending on shipping time, we can no longer guarantee that remaining cord requests will arrive in time for lavender graduation, but you can still sign up if you missed the official deadline. Lavender graduation is our ceremony to recognize and acknowledge queer Maine graduates in class of 2025 and will be on May 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. in the co-room. Also, this is the incoming future President Jackson. He's here to shadow me for the day and I can explain how it works, but he won't officially take office until the end of the semester, so you'll see him next semester. I'll still be here next week. End report.
And International Student Association, does everybody have that?
I do. So, 2 weeks ago, we had our grad dinner, which was really fun. We had just about 100 people showing up. We're part of the year program or 4 years. So congratulations all for grad students. Last week we had our elections, so we have all of our spots filled up. We don't have the results up yet, but we'll let you know all soon. And this week we're going to be doing a feature on the Republic of Korea, South Korea, and Scotland. So if you want to see me in Hill, come to coffee hour at 4 p.m. at North Pod. Report.
there any questions for the speakers? Vice President Oldfield?
This is a question directed at the Student Heritage Alliance Council Representative. What happens with the CAM grant funds that didn't get used for the events they were requested for?
They will go right back to the ham grant fund.
Thank you.
Vice President.
They actually roll over, so come and talk to me
Roll over.
the next year.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Senator Mann?
If the court asked about eligible.
I was like getting all that, so, yeah, if there's no more questions, speakers. Great, and how did you want to give your report?
Yeah, so tomorrow's meeting, we're gonna primarily focus on planning formal recruitment coming out of the fall and then make sure that all the eligible shoppers are still following the recruitment rules throughout the summer and recruit.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions to speakers? Cool. Seeing none, if it's the pleasure of the Senate, Senator Fan.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and strike the 5-minute recess and add a 10-minute recess right before executive session.
Second. Great, hearing a second, if that's the pleasure of the Senate, let's adopt them. It just took me a second. Sure. Any discussion? Any debate? Senator Fan.
We should do this. It's 6:47 right now. We can do the two things. The executive hours are long. I would like a 10-minute break before that. Please pass this.
Any other points for debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? Sorry, just making sure we have no senators, so if you're in favor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, wait a minute, all opposed? All abstaining? Give me a clear majority that passes. The 10-minute recess will now come before executives. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have EBC 41 for Operation Hurt 600, EBC 42 for the Society of Women Engineers for $60, EBC 43 for Maine Animal Club for $200, EBC 44 for the 2025 Class Council for $975, and EBC 47 for American Marketing Association for $200. Senator Norm.
I move to accept the consent agenda.
Second, hearing a second, that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. Any discussion on the motion? Senator Norm.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? All opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority, that passes. Seeing nothing in unfinished business, we'll move into new business, starting with 46S EBC 45, an act to allocate funds to UMSG Inc. for operating the bus ticket program in the amount of $4,150.
Hello, everyone. Probably heard me yap about this before, but I'll get right into it. It was pretty successful this year, so we're trying to do it next year, and we need funding for that. So this is a funding request for next year, so it won't come out of this year's budget, it'll be next year's budget. And the reason I'm asking for it now instead of, well, I'm not gonna be here next year, but instead of the funding request coming next year is just because program would start October 1st, because that's when Maine Department of Transportation Services and check if the student is an undergrad or a graduate student. And by the time EBC kind of like gets going, you know, we're kind of like well past mid-September. So it just gives the person who is gonna be facilitating this some time to work and get the tickets, and that's, I've already passed that on to President Tripp, and I've sent him a document of steps to follow, and you know, he has my phone number, so he can give me a quick text. I don't really care that I'm graduated, but it's still pretty clear, it's pretty simple. So yeah, this is essentially funding for next year. So I'm essentially requesting $215 discounts. Instead of, I did $270 instead of $300 last year, was because we still have some left over from when we did the emergency tickets for spring break. So last I checked like a week ago, it was American Women Parking Transportation Services that there was 41 left. So I'm just trying to like estimate for around 300. And if it runs out next year, so I can always, it's not too hard to get some more. And yeah, and also there's $100 on this for printing. So The tickets is $4,050 and $100 for printing. Yep.
Are there any questions for the speaker? Senator Martin?
Will this only be for undergraduate students?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the speaker? Senator Warren?
Is this something that might go potentially like on the spring survey as well, like? Just get feedback about who used it, it's similar to like the movie tickets thing, so like, I don't know. Something that we could get feedback about, especially how many people are using it, if it's repeat people, if it's actually decent spread.
That's on you.
Any other questions for the speaker? Seeing none, what's the committee's recommendation?
302, I'll pass as amended.
Senator Martin?
I move to accept the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Hearing a second, if that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. Any discussion on the motion? Senator Weber?
The two abstains are Senator Baum, who chaired the meeting, and Senator Bishop, who brought in the report. So everyone is in agreement that this was good.
Thank you. Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? All opposed? All abstaining? Being a clear majority, that passes. Next, we'll move on to 46S, EBC 46, and have to allocate funds to TAPI for the research expedition here in the amount of $5,000.
Everybody, thank you for taking the time today. My name is Matt Albert. I'm a senior chemical engineering student here at the University of Maine. Interim president of our TAPI chapter, that's our Technical Association of the Pulp and Paper Industry. We have a lot of students that are very interested in the industry. They do co-ops, they go into jobs after they've done their degree in the industry. And every 2 years, we take a trip called the TAPI Research Expedition Europe trip, TREE, to Europe. It allows about 10 students. It's a highly selective trip. Bring 10 students to see multiple facilities in Europe. We get to see some academic institutions, talk to industry experts. It's a great trip. I got to go on it 2 years ago. We went to, let's see, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, and Germany. We got to see making cardboard, paper, they recycle, they do a lot of great stuff. It's a great opportunity, and every student that goes on it is so thankful they got to go. So we're requesting $5,000 to help pay for hotels while we're in Europe.
Are there any questions for the speaker? Representative Merchant?
What countries will we be visiting this year or will be the same from last year?
It's a good question. We're going to Finland, Sweden, and Denmark. So we land in Copenhagen, go to Helsinki, Stockholm, and go around mostly Finland and Sweden, see sites over there. So
Senator Sparks?
How many people go in or repeat?
I am the only repeat, and the reason I'm the repeat is because I'm the one who's planning it. So they always make one person do it again so they can plan the following trip. At least.
Representative Ohio?
Who gets to go for this year?
Who gets to go? Basically the students who've shown the most dedication to TAPI, so like officers and people who volunteered the most and who expressed the most interest, and then we select based out of that pool. So.
Any other questions for the speaker? Seeing none, what's the committee's recommendation?
501 not to pass.
Senator Martin?
I move to accept the committee's recommendation.
Hearing a second, if that's the pleasure of the Senate, that's adopted. Any discussion on the motion? Any debate? Senator Weber?
This is, I know, like, we've been kind of going on a basis of like over a grant or like $2,000, that was kind of paid for a couple reasons for this one. One is almost $30,000, and they've done 25 of it almost on their own, so they've done clearly shown like an effort to do it. It's also ending, we only have 2 weeks left in the year, and we have $40,000, so we're handing it out. And we're not gonna do that for, like, we said we're not gonna do it for every club, but this club has clearly done their due diligence, so also $5,000 was like, showed that.
Also, it's Europe, and like we've sent people to like help out for similar things, so it's comparable to those big trips.
Any other points for debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? All opposed, all abstaining, seeing a clear majority, that passes. Thank you so much, and yeah, the 25 grand in your own fundraising is not something to be taken lightly. That's very impressive and probably some of the most initiative we've seen all year, so kudos. Great, that concludes new business, so if it's the pleasure of the Senate, we will enter a 10-minute recess. And we will convene at 7.
Yes. This. Like seriously, just like.
We will now reconvene, seeing nothing under meeting, well, we already skipping. If it is the pleasure of the Senate, we will now enter executive session. Any non-members are excused for the remainder of the meeting. I think we're all good. With that being said, the clerk will now call it.
Record. Ray Vanderwood.
Here.